All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Shanghai Blockchain Code Academy chapter. I'm Joanne, here on behalf of myself and the co-lead Kresna, and we'd like to welcome Henry Chukwuka. Hello, Henry. Thanks for joining us today to talk to us about Web3.
Yeah, thank you, Joanne. It's my pleasure.
Okay, so I'll let you take it over, and yeah, so you can go from here. Whenever you're ready, you can start.
All right, that's fine. And hello, everyone. This is Henry, and this is just a brief about myself. And it's a pleasure to discuss with you guys about Web 3.0. It's something I'm very, very into, and I work on it and I build on it day by day, every day. Okay. So quickly, this is just about me. My name is Henry Chukuka, and I'm a Nigerian, a computer science student, and I graduated since 2016. Currently, I'm the CEO and I lead the team at CrewLab. CrewLab is my company. We build web applications, mobile applications, Android and iOS, as well as blockchain apps. I've been doing this for over 3 years now. And also, I'm the regional African lead at Waves Protocol. Waves is a well-known blockchain that is scalable and it's been around since 2014. And recently, it's just got up to 5 years. And on Waves, currently, I'm building an app called Muna app that would allow Africans to save crypto and earn interest. All right. So that's just a brief about myself. And today, with the little time we have, I'll be talking to you guys about Web 3.0. But before then, we will just take a little while to talk about Web 2.0 and Web 1.0, which were webs that existed before this innovation. Okay. Hello, Joanna, are you there? All right, I'll go ahead if I get from you, Joanne, to make sure that you can hear me. Hello, Joanne, are you there? Hello, Joanne.
Yeah, I was here the whole time. I just left the room. That's all. But you can go
All
ahead.
right.
You can go ahead.
Okay. Basically, Web 1.0 or Web 1 is like a foundation of the entire system that we have today, which it took a while to walk around and to have it up. But ever since then, there have been a lot of innovations and improvement to make it more accessible and more better. Now, the Web 1.0 was like started with the whole ARPANET, and the whole idea of web back then was a way for people to access information irrespective of where they are. Now, internet was already there back then. Now, it was launched, Web 1.0 came into existence after Satin invented or launched the World Wide Web. Okay, so that was the first version of it, and it was very rigid and basic. So basically, what we had then was someone who has a web or a website would put up some markup, some content, and ship it up to the World Wide Web. Meaning, someone marks up a content or prepares a document, and have it running on the web. And because of that, not just that person can read it, but everyone in New York, in Africa, in Europe, around the world can access this information, which is the basic. So basically what happened was like putting out your mind there, or putting out any content or information you want people to see. So basically that was what the entirety of Web1 was all about, put out the content. And this was possible using some markup language, basically HTML and hypertext. So it was very, very basic and very, very simple. So that was how it all started. But as innovative as it was back then, there were several limitations, because you could only read what the owner of the site is adding, and these contents were rigid, and it was very, very difficult to keep record of different versions of this content. Meaning, anytime the owner of the server decides to change the content, he or she has to overwrite what has been existing on ground. So what you do is you rewrite, a new content comes in, and each time new stuff is coming on, there has to be this continuous process of overwriting what is existing to put in the new one. So actually, it was very, very static. And also, only the person who owns the website was able to populate it. Okay. So that's basically how the Web1 was like. So you put out the content, and when you want to add another one, you take off the old one and you add the new one. So basically, this web was very centralized. It was totally centralized, and only the mind of one person was being pushed out to the web. And it was also static. It was very, very static. I could remember back some about 12 years, 15 years ago, when you see a website, they were actually sort of very static, okay? And it was centralized. But over time, improvements came and innovation came as well. And we had Web 2.0. And this time, it was not just the person that owns the server was the one adding the content. Someone with me, please? So guys, are you following me, please?
Yes, we're here. We're following you.
All right. All right. So in Web 2.0, we see a kind of dynamic web, okay, and it has some automations around it. So instead of just putting up a static content, but this new web had a way of improving this content, overwriting them, and populating it. Okay, so in these cases, we see products like social media networks, we had blogs, we had different online communities, we had forums. And these forums actually are now not as static as Web1, but they are dynamic and they are kind of automated. In Web1, it was only the owner of the server that was able to update content on the web. All right, but in Web 2.0, it brings us an innovation whereby this time around, not even the owners of the server are the one populating it with content, but rather the users, the people who are using this platform, are the ones that are populating it with content. In this case, we have people had the ability to read content from the web, and they as well had the ability to respond, like to write back to the web. And these contents can be heard right there, even while they are not the owners of these servers or these websites. We can see that like in Facebook, contents are created, videos are uploaded, and a lot of things. Now, we have a situation where you say a word, someone else comments. So it kind of gave the system flexibility, all right? It was flexible and it was dynamic. New stuffs were created we started seeing stuff like trends and new content continuously, like that, conversations, commenting system, like retweeting and all of that. They came with the Web 2.0 because the web was wide, it was now wide enough to accommodate, including different kinds of people and listening to them and allowing everyone to express themselves. But in this same Web 2.0, we still have a situation anyway. But the thing is, why it was dynamic and kind of not rigid, it was flexible, but it had a common feature with Web 1, which is centralized. And in Web 2.0, we see that centralized as well. Centralization was a major thing, a major characteristic, that a similarity between the Web 1 and Web 2. Now, it had a good side and it had a lot of bad sides. So we see situations whereby people were kicked out of platforms they were using because they probably did something. It might not be wrong, but the owner of the server is not just comfortable with it. Do you understand what I'm saying, Joanne?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So we had this situation because you could write an article and you wake up one morning and you find out that the article has been deleted without your consent. Okay. Now, this was something very, very serious because the server itself was just something that a single person or a single company or entity is totally in control of. So they can decide what to accommodate and what not to accommodate. So in reality, it was not open, it was still closed, and just one person was making the rule. Okay, we see that in fintech as well, which is a Web 2.0 product. It made payments and finance kind of very easy. It automated processes for making transfers, for making recurring payments, for billing, and for subscription. A lot of things actually changed with Web 2.0 on fintech. But the major problem, the major issue is that people were not even in control of their own content and their materials, because people could wake up and someone finds anything or any charge to like take down their content, take down their videos. And some people woke up to find out that I know of some people that worked on freelancing platforms, and they just wake up one day and they figure that their accounts have been banned for reasons they do not know, they are not aware of, but they have money saved there, and this money is gone because someone is in control of it, because someone is in charge of it. So these were actually the major limitation of Web 2.0. As big, as open, and as dynamic as it was, and as flexible as it was, this single feature of centralization, because one person was making the rules. All right. Now that gave birth to something like Web 3.0. That's the major difference between Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3.0. Web 3.0 is decentralized. Now, to kind of understand what we mean by decentralization, is we have to look at the instance in Web 1.0. Someone owns the server, someone is in charge of the server where these contents are residing, which means if this person takes down this server, we are all knocked out. That same case we see in Web 2.0. Everyone can have different accounts on a platform or on a forum. Now, anyone can have accounts there. So basically what happened is just one person or just an entity is still overseeing and can make a rule to override whatever every other person on the platform thinks. Now, I'm going to give an instance. On this call now, we have 4 people, me, myself, you, Joanne, Theo, and Pranav. Okay? Now, I'm going to explain Web 3.0 with in terms of decentralization, what it means to be decentralized, and how Web 3.0 is different from Web 2 and Web 3. Okay, Joanne, I think you're recording this. You are recording this meeting, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. So basically, let's say for now, you are the only one recording this video. Now,
when this meeting is done and we close up the meeting, and let's say probably we said something that Joanne does not want anyone to know about. So you can basically delete the video, right?
I do believe so. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and because you're not fine with it, you can just delete the video because you are just the one in charge of it, and there's no other copy of that video aside the one that is on your device, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, in Web 3.0, it takes this focus and this power away from a single person. Now, before that, first, the whole idea is that finance on Web 3.0 is open and it is accessible. Now, for a Nigerian that I am, there is a certain age I need to be up to before I can open up a bank account. All right. In Web 3.0, we see a system that allows openness and accessibility for everyone. Now, age might be a very nice criteria to restrict someone from accessing certain activities, but it's obvious there could be other reasons like political reasons and personal reasons, and you just tend to restrict someone from accessing a certain service. Now, in Web 3.0, we see that finances are open and they are accessible, and we begin to see the launch of blockchain because blockchain here is a part, it's a technology on top of Web 3.0. There are different sides to Web 3.0, but we are going to be looking at the blockchain side of it. And we begin to see, rather than instructions that are written in non-programming languages and hosted on centralized servers, we begin to see smart contracts that are running on decentralized nodes and decentralized networks. And in Web 3.0, users are able to make and govern their content, their own assets. You are totally in control of it. And we see users being able to govern their finance. Now, to explain this properly so that we can actually understand it, I mentioned, I listed some key components we need to consider to understand decentralization. Now, let me come back to the video we were talking about. Now, on Web 2.0, you, Joanne, you are like a server who is going to keep this video after recording it, and you can decide who has access to this video and who doesn't have access to it, as long as the first copy is on your hand. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Exactly. But now, this is what Web 3.0 does for us. Web 3.0 makes everyone a node. It makes use of nodes, not just independent servers. That means while we are holding this meeting now, every one of us on this meeting have a copy of this video. Okay, now if we are 20 people here and we have a copy of this video, once the meeting is done, we can kind of dish out the video to different people. But let's say someone wants to do something not right. This person wants to modify the video and add things that were not there initially, or try to cause some lies or whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, remember, the copy of the video this person have is not the only copy. We have 20 people on the event, and every 20 persons recorded the video, and they are all the same. So what we'll do is, if this person's video doesn't tally, with every other 19 videos, it means that person is on its own. That person cannot affiliate that video to the event we had. Okay, so that's basically how Web 3.0 works. It works with decentralized nodes. All right, now let me give you another instance. It's a common instance I give in meetings. Now, they are these stuff's called Ususu. Do you know about anything called Ususu?
What is it called? Ususu?
Ususu, yeah.
What is that?
It's a common practice of saving money in Africa.
Yeah, we have it in the Caribbean too. And different countries have it and call it different names. Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
All right. So there were times while I was in the village, I remembered about a man. He was the secretary to a meeting. So what happened basically is that this man was doing a lot of bad things on his office. So basically, he was the secretary who is taking down the amount people pay when they come for meetings. Each time he pays 100 naira, he writes 1,000 naira. Are you getting it? So basically, 100 naira is just 1, 0, and 0. But this man, because he's the one inside, behind the scene, once everybody's gone home, he adds an extra 0 to his own balance sheet. Do you understand what he's doing there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So basically, what happened is at the end of the meeting, the people were discovering that the amount they were accounting for was not up to what they had at hand, because this man was contributing just, let's say, like $100. And at the end of the meeting, because he's the secretary, he just adds an extra 0. And he's centralized because he's the only one with access to a copy of the activity, the transactions that are happening on the meeting. But in Web 3.0, what happened is that every person is a node. Now, what is a node? A node is a copy of the blockchain. So let's say a blockchain has 1,000 transactions, the date, the amount, and everything that was done. Now, when you open your own node or when you create your own node, exactly what is existing in the main node is duplicated to your own copy. The reason is this. That is why it is called blockchain. Blocks. Now, when a new transaction happens on the blockchain, before it is added to the node, they have to check. Now, these nodes work together. Node is a software. And before any new transaction is added, the nodes have to validate and check that before accepting a transaction from Joanne, I should check that I and Joanne are completely synchronized so that we don't go and merge incompatible records. Okay, so with the node, it means that if you shut down, like I have a node on Waves. Now, if anything should happen and my node is shut down, there are still more than 300 nodes that are running on the network to validate transactions. Are you getting it now?
Yep.
Yeah, so it kind of takes away the centralization that comes with Web 2.0. So everybody has a copy. So you can just come up and fabricate copies, documents, or data. So it's going to be the same thing. Now, if I should send you 1 BTC right now, every node on the Bitcoin network is going to be aware that I sent you 1 Bitcoin and the time I sent it to you, my address and your address, everything is intact on the ledger. Now, when anybody or any node wants to add a network to the blockchain, the network has to check that he or she has an account of the last transaction that is on the network. So basically, this doesn't just happen with just the crypto side of it. We can have documents, comments, videos, and whatever articles that are being stored on the blockchain, and people or entities and servers cannot be shut down and people are knocked out. If one server is down, the rest of the servers that are on the network can continue to do their thing. So basically, for people that are familiar with Web 1.0, we see the update, the dynamic nature of content, and the Web 2.0. But decentralization, because when you are starting up a platform right now, you are scared. You're scared that, what if my account gets closed? What if I get shut down? What if my account is shut down and stuff like that? But in Web 2.0, you know that there's no single person that has a key to all the powers. The power is just decentralized. It is left with everybody. Another thing is open smart contracts. Now, programs are written with JavaScript, Python, Scala, and PHP, TypeScript, and the rest of them. And these programs basically run on centralized servers, and they can be shut down. You can build a website and someone reports your site, You don't need to be, the server admin don't even need to contact you. They could just shut down the website without your consent. But in Web 3.0, softwares and programs are written with smart contracts. The reason is because these smart contracts are what I use to write programs that runs on a decentralized network. That means you can shut down these programs. And another important thing is the public explorers. Explorers are used to check the data that is on the blockchain. Nothing is hidden. Everything can be seen from the day the blockchain, from the day you open your account to down to this date. Everything can be traced. That's basically what it does, and it helps to maintain a level of transparency and decentralized exchange of value. Several times, I think there was a time I went to my bank and I told them I was not interested in SMS notification whenever any transaction happens on my account because my money is with these banks and they can actually spend the money without my notice. They can spend it, deduct my money without my consent, and inform me later. But if it's a decentralized finance, nobody has access to your amount because decentralized platform and the decentralized Web 3.0 enables users to maintain state. State is the current state of your account, the current state of your money is constant. It's not like I keep my deposits on the bank and the bank sends me an alert that, hey, you just deposited $100 into your bank account, and the notification I receive actually is that the money that the bank is telling me I have is actually virtual, but the real money itself is with the bank. But that's not the case with decentralized Web 3.0. If I have one BTC or I have one Waves or I have one Ethereum on my account right now, I actually have those money. I have the money right there with me. So these components are very, very important to distinguish Web 3.0 because these are what keeps transparency, immutability, and as well give total control over to users. So at this point, I would just try to see if you might have any question or you need clarification on something before I just head on. I just have a few slides to run through.
Right now, it looks like the guys who were with us, they're popping in and out. So no specific questions just yet. So if you'd like to continue, that's fine.
Okay, that works. That works.
Because the guys keep coming in and out, so I think we should continue.
All right, that's fine. So basically, this is what Web 3.0 is around. So I made an illustration with Waves, and because Wave as a Web 3.0 platform, and where anyone can actually access what Web 3.0 offers, which is mostly decentralization.
I'm sorry, Henry, one second. We have someone back in. I just want to see if they have a question. Theo, can you hear me? Do you have a question that you'd like to ask Henry? Go ahead.
I can hear you.
Fantastic.
I don't have any questions per se. I'm pretty much tracking what you're saying. It's very good, I must say. So yeah, we can continue.
Okay, great. Thanks, Theo. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, guys. Okay. So, like I said, the Web 3.0 is basically what we see, and blockchain is an implementation of Web 3.0 because it grants people decentralized access to their finance, and no one is in charge. No one can tell you not to have a Bitcoin address. And for example, if you have a very important article and you publish it, and this article you are scared you might lose it or it might get shut down. We have seen cases whereby stuff happen, and we have some social platforms and organizations they begin to take down this content, they begin to shut down these articles, delete these videos and all of that. But if we have these articles published or the data saved on the blockchain, actually they can't shut that down. Because if they shut down the server, they are very, very, for example, Ethereum currently has 23,000 nodes. So to take down the Ethereum network, it means you have to shut down the 23,000 computers, 23,000 nodes, which are obviously running on different computers in different parts of the world. So it brings back a kind of confidence that the Ethereum on my account, you can't spend it without my consent. You can't send it out, because the only way is that Web 3.0 gives power back to me. So on Web 2.0, if I want to access my fintech app, I have to use the username and the password, which is going to authenticate, which means if for any reason a fintech app is not working at the moment, I can use my own money. Yeah, I can use my own money, because everything is on their own server and under their control. And they can as well just shut down my account and take over my money. But on Web 3.0 finance, you see that as long as I have access to my private key, I do what I want with my money. So that's it. Now, I made an illustration of what people can do with Web 3.0, and I use Waves as a use case because it's quite easy to get started on Waves without developer backgrounds, or if you have a developer knowledge before now. So the first thing is, I talked about the nodes, the smart contracts. Now, what I said is very important. You need to take note of that. A smart contract is not like the usual programs that we write with our native or known programming languages like PHP, JavaScript, Python, Scala, and the rest. But these smart contracts actually are running on decentralized servers. So because the decentralized servers is not within the control of what a person can shut down, obviously the smart contracts as well are not under the control of what an entity can actually shut down. Now, let me just talk briefly about the Web 3.0 platform, that is Waves protocol. Waves is a blockchain, just like Ethereum, and it allows you to create your own DeFi apps, smart contracts, and wallets, whatever you want to do. All right, and this is something else again you have to note. It almost keeps me very important. Because a platform is decentralized, now let me give you an instance. On this meeting, Joanne can actually decide to remove any one of us from this meeting. Okay, and she could as well decide not to accept any invitation for anyone trying to join. Okay, now when you want to run a node on the blockchain, you don't need anyone's permission to run a node. That is how open it is. So you can set up your node. The more the nodes on the network, the more decentralized it is. Okay, Waves can actually help you get started on building your own. It can start with creating your own cryptocurrency. You can use it to test run and do several things. It actually started in 2016, and the focus is speed, scalability, security, and user experience. User experience is something very important because blockchain is complex. All right, so a lot of work needs to be put into it to make people access this whole complex stuff. A lot of people just want to access the solution it provides. They necessarily don't need to. They don't want to know about how it's working behind the scene, how a transaction being signed, and how is the transfer working, and all of that. So it is a smart contract blockchain. That means you can write your own smart contract using RIDE, and it's decentralized. And it was founded by Alexander Ivanov. And adding to that, the language for writing smart contract on Waves is called RIDE. So RIDE is a statically typed. If you're a developer, very easy to get started with because the language was created specifically to write smart contracts. And it offers multi-purpose wallet, meaning there are some people, if you want to be accessing your crypto on the mobile, web, desktop app, Linux or Mac, it's available right there. And one of the most interesting thing about Waves, especially for me as well, is ability to create custom tokens. You can create your own token, and for loyalty programs, NFTs, and it has a decentralized exchange where your tokens you created can be traded instantly as well. It costs one Waves to create your own crypto, and it has alias. The reason for alias on Waves is because not everyone can actually have to hold about 32-digit alphabets of a crypto address. So, but with the Waves alias, I can actually send, Joanne can create her own alias that is attached to her crypto address. So I can send funds directly to Joanne. I can send funds directly to Theo as well. Okay, and it has fixed fee, which is sort of something very important, irrespective of the amount you are transferring, trading, and all of that. It's just a flat fee. This is a run through, and it has a supportive developer community and a lot of client libraries. If I PHP developer, JavaScript, Python, C, Rust, or TypeScript as well, you can actually Go. If you write on Go, you can actually, there are client libraries, SDKs. If you write on Swift or Kotlin, you can get started with building apps that interact with the blockchain easily. So, Joanne, this is what I have on my slide, and I'll be glad to take your questions or anywhere you might need clarifications. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Henry. I just got word from Kresna that he'll be joining us soon at a little bit at the end, but it's okay. So I think it's best that we let Theo ask any questions you may have first. If there's any questions, anything you want clarified, Cleo, about the presentation or Waves specifically, please feel free to ask Henry now.
So very interesting presentation. I guess, could you go into some real world applications for some of this decentralization right now? And also, this is the first time I'm learning about the Waves platform. Is it currently in deployment anywhere in any systems that you know of?
Okay, sorry, Theo, I didn't really get your question. Could you come back?
Okay, no problem. Hopefully you can hear me now. So I was saying,
yeah,
okay, great. So great presentation. I wanted you to share some real world projects that you're aware of that are currently making use of the decentralized Web 3.0 technologies that you shared about in terms of like smart contracts and these kind of things, and how they're working effectively to change things, and also this Waves protocol or platform. I said I'm learning about it for the first time today. Are you aware of its deployment?
Yeah. Oh, Theo, that's a very nice question, because the reason is, I'm going to answer your question. The reason is because there are a lot of buzzes and hypes, a lot of conversations, papers, and all of that. Now, I'll give you an instance of a real world implementation of Waves. Okay. Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How about you, Theo? Can you see?
I think Theo may have popped out, but he'll come back again. Looks like he's going. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
May just be the internet. as we wait for Theo to come back, something that came to my mind was when you think of Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, Web 3 is sort of like, I guess the internet becomes more of a database, right? And everybody kind of, it's easier to share information, it's easier to access information. So, for example, right now, data is a real big issue. So, you have major companies, for example, that control all of our data, right? With Web3, the concept is that everything is decentralized and open. So no one really owns anything. It's almost like Web3 is even going to be bigger than Google, right? Like this, the web is one big Google almost, one big database. So with everything, whether it's AI involved and 3D and all of that stuff. But what I really want to know is like, I know there are a lot of use cases, I know there's a lot going on, but what are like some practical uses of Web3? Like with Web 2, you know, we have like the stuff we're doing now, you know, video conferencing, podcasting, blogging. What is Web3 going to look like? Is it going to be completely different, or is it just going to be all of that but decentralized?
Okay, Joan, that's an important question. So the first thing is, let me talk about when you said we have like Web 3.0 becoming something like the database whereby no one owns the data,
Yeah.
right? Okay, now the first thing to note is that in Web 3.0, one of the major criteria is the consensus. Okay, the consensus on how information or on how power is executed. Now, the reason is this. For the Web 2.0 is very efficient, working perfectly fine. So the only broken part of Web 2.0 is the centralized side of it. And this centralized side is talking about how decisions are reached, you know, who's in control, how power is distributed. So that is basically the issue that Web 3.0 addresses. Now, we can have our Web 2.0 infrastructures running perfectly, but what is happening is Web 3.0 is going to change the rules and the consensus of how decisions are made. Okay, now, for example, we want to, this is Web 2.0, we are using all these amazing features like this meeting, video calling, and all of that. So just imagine Web 3.0 as to, if you decide to shut down this program now, you want to shut down this event now, how is the decision made? Is it just you, Joanne, deciding to shut down the decision, and it doesn't matter what anybody else on this place thinks? So what Web 3.0 have to address is the distribution of power. So we can have our social networks and all of that working, our blogs running, but what is going to change? We can have our fintech running, we can have them all running, but what is going to change is how power is executed. The consensus is not going to be a company consensus. It's not becoming community. Everyone has to be carried along. Everyone has to vote, has to speak up. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
Joanne?
definitely. That makes sense. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay, now, yeah. For the second part of it, which is something I actually wanted to share with you as well. Now, one of the biggest use cases I see for blockchain Web 3.0 is that I will speak from an African perspective. Now, there are a lot of exclusions for Africans. You know, I remember some years back, before I got into blockchain and crypto, I worked on different platforms, and on these platforms, I could earn money, but getting paid and receiving my funds is a very big issue. Okay, now, the rates of selling, I get paid in USD, I get paid in US dollars, and the rate at which I sell my dollar to banks,
and I sell it to different financial institutions to get Naira is it's not cool, because they buy my dollar, they buy my money from me at a very cheap rate. And when I want to spend my dollar as well, I buy at very expensive rate. So for Africa, from the African perspective, it kind of breaks the barrier of letting Africa to access finance globally. Now, today, I work for different people, and when I want to get paid, I get paid with crypto directly. I'm paid for what I'm working for. And the money, the value itself comes directly to my account. I do not need to go to banks, go here, go there. And over the weekends, I can get paid for jobs, you know. So basically, for Africa, I would say blockchain and cryptocurrency is solving real-life financial inclusion. You see, Africans can now buy goods easily. It's even easier to buy goods from China. They, you know, merchants that they trade with, they make payment very, very fast for them. So that's a very rewarding use case that we have blockchain and Web 3.0. And people are able to kind of create contents that are not destructive, okay, for reasons that are known to people in power. And I can create an article and have my entire blog running on Waves, and the contents are residing on the blockchain. So I'm not scared that this truth will be one day taken off the internet because just one person is not okay with it. Okay, so it gives transparency, very, very large transparency. Even in governments in Africa, blockchain brings and Web 3.0 brings transparency. For example, let me give you an instance. The Muna app we built has USDN, which is a stable coin that is pegged to US dollar. Now, I can send this money over to anywhere that cryptocurrency or blockchain is legal, all right? And without restrictions, everything moves fine. Does that help you, Joanne?
Yes, absolutely. That was really, really helpful. Thanks so much. It looks like Theo came and then he left again. So I don't know if you want to still go ahead and answer his question. And since it's recording, when I share the recording, he'll be able to see it in the recording. That might be helpful.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Theo asked two questions. The first one is a real-world implementation of this Web 3.0 technology, and also for Waves. Theo said this is his first time of knowing about Waves, and if there is any real-world implementation. Okay, good. Meanwhile, I think I answered one of Theo's issue, one of his questions, which is the use of Web 3.0. I just explained how blockchain is changing finance, breaking barriers, and remittance. Man, you have to see remittance going very smooth and fine. As far as I know, for Africa, it's very efficient. I can send money to fellow Africans without, and the thing is, at minimal fees, it's quite cheap, okay? And there's no weekends. It makes trade to be efficient. Nigerians can buy from their merchants all over the world with Bitcoin and different cryptocurrencies as far as it's fine on their own terms, as far as they accept it as money. And these things happen in less than 5 minutes, 2 minutes. And these are stores that take long processes. Okay, as a first use case of Web 3.0, if you see that implementing it on finance, all right? Now, for Waves, can you see my screen, please?
Yeah.
I think you can see an infrastructure for plug and play algorithmic finance.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is called Neutrino. So Neutrino is a stablecoin protocol for issuing stablecoins on Waves. So it's using the Waves blockchain, the Waves solution, to render this solution. Now, even as we speak, they are around more than 7 stable coins. We have that of Naira even. So this Neutrino it allows the community, anyone, to issue stable coins in US dollar, that is USDN. On our app, we are already using USDN. We have stable coins that are pegged to the Nigerian Naira, pegged to the Turkish Lira, and pegged to the several currencies like the UK, for the Brazilian as well, and the pounds, several of it, this neutrino. So what it means, and this same neutrino can be used to issue synthetic assets, assets that are pegged to real life assets like stocks of companies and all of that. So even as we speak, we have neutrino, the neutrino dollar. The neutrino dollar, neutrino dollar it has a very huge market cap currently on CoinMarketCap. It has a market cap of $245 million. So this one is actually a real world use case, because not everyone is a trader and not everyone wants to buy speculative assets. Some people just need crypto to make payments. So some people I know do not want to buy an asset for a $50 now, and by tomorrow morning is already $40 worth. Okay, so with the neutrino, people are able to issue stable coins. Like for the USDM, for example, we have it integrated on our Muna app, and it's tied to the US dollar, and it offers people interest. It currently pays up to 12% interest per year by staking it. So this brings us to a very efficient payment system, although it is revolving around payment very well. Okay, so the neutrino itself is based on waves, and it's used to issue stable coins and synthetic assets. I don't know if that helped you.
Yeah. And it looks like Theo is back, so hopefully.
Yeah,
I can
sorry
see
about that. Having some technical challenges, yeah.
So Theo, did you get my explanation to your question?
No, I didn't, unfortunately.
Okay. Actually, we had to record it for you, but I can quickly say it again.
Okay.
So for Web 3.0 implementation, I can tell you that, speaking from African perspective, it has improved remittance, it has improved payment, it made it very efficient, especially for us in Africans, sending money and receiving money from overseas, from clients, or sending to family has been so efficient with blockchain-powered payments. Yeah, that's one of it. And for Wave, hello, Theo, are you there?
Yeah, I am. I was sorry. I thought you had finished. I was going to ask a question regarding. So is it that the technology is allowing you to get around, in terms of Africa, get around the traditional like US dollar dominated settlement network? Is that what is happening in real time?
Yeah, I can make it to be as clear as possible by giving you instances. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Now, I remember as 2 years ago working for a client in US, and he needed to send me, a client in the UK first, he needed to send me some payment, and I think he sent me, that should be around, I don't know, but around more than the work was around $300. Not just for most people in US as well. And after sending the payment, the payment was made through Western Union.
Right.
And after sending the payment, I got to the bank. Getting to the bank, I built a site for him. I've given him back. I gave him the admin details, everything, the password, because job was delivered. And I saw that the payment was already sent. Now, getting to the bank, I figured that the payment was refunded back to him. Now, this is there are some cases where I cannot get money through Western Union. All right. Now, the thing is, it actually helps an African to get paid directly from a client I'm working for. All right. Now, I can be working with Joan, and Joan said, Henry, can your company CrewLab build me a mobile app? We said, yes, okay. Everything is going to be $5,000. Fine. Now, send me payment. Now, she won't be able to send payments on weekends. And this is the major issue. Now, when she sends me the payment and it gets to my bank my bank is going to buy that dollar for me so that they can remit to me naira. Are you aware with you?
Right. Yes, I'm tracking you. Yeah.
Exactly. So basically, what we see is these people take this dollar and they could sell it for me at they could buy it for me at the rate of 380 naira per dollar. Are you getting it?
Yes, I am.
Fine. But when that's the rate they will do that for me. So if it's $1,000, I'm going to get on my bank account 380,000 naira. But when I want to use my Nigerian card to buy maybe hosting services and
Right.
all of that, this same bank is going to charge me a 450 naira on my account.
Right.
You see, so the margin, the margin there, you see that is a very, very big margin. So they buy from me cheap and they sell dollar to me high.
Yes.
All right. But when I use the blockchain and the crypto side of it, I get the full value of my money. And this happens, I don't even need to leave my home. I will sit right there and I get my payment instantly received on my account and under my custody. Okay, unlike banks where I have to run through paperwork and I sign this and sign that and a lot of processes. Now, it gets easier when I'm doing all these entire single easy processes through regulated exchanges as well. Exchanges that are very, very compliant with regulations and security exchanges. Okay, so it solves a very major problem for Africans as far as remittance is concerned. The speed of making this payment is something else. So I don't know, does that help you?
And
Hello? Oh, I think your line is breaking up there. Yeah, I can hear you now.
you know, but understand, and so the remittance of a problem, but my query is using mechanisms that exist.
Oh, I think your network seems to be breaking up there. I can't hear you clearly, Theo, please. Your question is very important.
Theo, do you want to maybe type it in the message box? Because your line is, maybe it's going in and out. Do you want to type it in the message box and Henry can read it from there?
Okay, so I will wait until Joan, do I have any questions?
Sure. Let's see. Kresna, the chapter co-leader, has joined us. So welcome, Kresna. We've also got someone who goes by the name of Cowdrey that just joined us as well. So I don't know if the guys have any questions they wanted to ask, just generally, since they just joined us. No, nothing. Anything from you, Kresna? No? I don't think we have. No, it doesn't look like we have any more burning questions, only from Theo. I hope we're able to answer Theo's questions. Yeah, it looks like he's just having some internet problems. But no specific questions. But this was great, Henry. This was really, really, really helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah, right. This was incredible. This was great. So can you tell us, final thing, what sort of, I know you talked about waves. Do you want to tell us just very quickly about Kuro Labs and what you're doing there? And I know you recently did something exciting, building the new apps and stuff like that. Anything you want to share about Kuro Labs before you go?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Sure, sure. I will do that right away. Okay. Can you see my
Yeah.
screen? So basically, recently I was so happy actually. I just found that we have over 500 people that are texting the Muna app right now. So the Muna app is something that is like a broker to the Waves platform, because I see I know the current finance state of Africa as far as finance is concerned, and I see what blockchain can do for us. Now, that is why I built Muna app. So basically, Muna app is like a savings app for crypto for Africans, and because it's going to help them navigate or bypass the entire inflation stuff with saving in native currency, so they can save in assets that will not depreciate, especially for dollar. They are very, very fine, and that is why we have USDN staking, because USDN is based on Waves and it was issued through this Neutrino protocol. Can you see Neutrino, please?
Yeah.
Yes, and now people are able to earn up to 12% interest per year in dollar to saving on Muna. And native banks are not paying up to this amount. And even if they pay you up to 6% on local banks, the inflation rate could be running at 11%, and people are earning 6% or 7%, not even up to 7% on their bank savings. So it's quite dangerous because they are left with about 5% deficit after inflation has dealt with their savings. So that's why we built Muna, and a lot of amazing stuff has been working around it, and I'll try my best to keep you updated. So for now, anyone can download it and stake USDN. The interests are paid daily. And this is a common question we usually get from people. How is the revenue? How do you people generate the money? So Waves is a kind of proof of stake. So there's a node we are integrating into our app. And this node is the Neutrino node that is generating waves. And this waves is in turn converted to USDN, and we pay it back to anyone that is taking. So the Waves ecosystem provides this solution. So it's kind of complex. So we made Muna app to give people, it's like a gateway, a broker for people to access these opportunities from blockchain. And for us at Crew Lab is because Crew Lab is a very, very interesting venture for me, because I really want Africa to hold a very good position. Can you hear me, Joanna?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. So Crew Lab has been around for a while now, and what we do basically is we build web apps. We build mobile apps. We do web apps, your APIs, JavaScript, PHP, and cloud setup services. We build Telegram bots as well, and as well as mobile development for both Android and iOS. And we build blockchain apps. We actually have built several apps on Waves, and Muna is part of it. So that's it basically.
Okay, great. Well, I'm very conscious of the time, but this is really, really good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I really appreciate it. And
yeah, it's my
if anyone wants to follow up directly with you, in case they missed out or they were having any technical issues or anything, do you want to share? Do you have like an email or something in social media where we can follow you or people can follow you or something?
Yes, I'm gonna share that. I'm gonna share that right away. Okay, so basically anyone can reach to me on Twitter, but actually I prefer on WhatsApp because I'm very, very active there 247. I just did.
Okay, so
So that's my Twitter link. Yeah, and my WhatsApp phone number.
Yeah,
Then.
I saw it. Yeah, and I did see a message from Theo as well. Okay, so your Twitter is there, and got it, and your number for WhatsApp. Perfect. Thank you so much. So folks can reach out to you there if
Yeah.
they're interested in learning more or connecting further. So brilliant. Thank you so much again, Henry. We're grateful to have you with us today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody learned a lot. I
Thank
learned a
you.
lot. It was great. Thanks so much.
Okay. If you might need this slide, I could provide it. I could provide that to you on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
If you might
sure.
need
You
it.
can send it, and I'll be happy to include it with the follow up, the event follow up. That'll be great.
All right.
Okay. All right,
Thank you.
Henry. Thanks so much, and have a good
Yeah.
afternoon. Okay.
You
Bye
too.
for now. Bye, everybody. Bye bye.